All right, so I'm here with your Summerslam review. To be quite honest, this was not a good show. I mean, first off, you're starting the show at 7 o'clock and going until what, like 11? I mean, it's just way too fucking long. And for the losers, for the people I feel bad for, to be quite honest, that watch the pre-show. I mean, you're watching fucking almost half your day is watching wrestling. Ugh. So yeah, besides the main event, there wasn't really anything that made me jump out of my chair. In fact, it did quite the opposite. There was numerous times throughout this pay-per-view where I was zoning off and almost fell asleep. So we got the show started off with Superman himself, John Cena, defeating Baron Corbin. There was pretty much one good move in this match when Baron Corbin chokeslammed Cena on his knee. I've never seen that before, and it was cool. Other than that, it sucked. Boring. 10-minute, 20-second match. Um, it was slow. There was a lot of rest holds, and there wasn't really anything good in this match. So I gave it a half star out of 5. Then we have Natalia defeating Naomi. One of the better matches of the night, although it's hard to give a fuck about Divas Wrestling on SmackDown when I don't even watch the show. And also, who the fuck cares about the Divas division when it sucks? So you have Natalia defeating Naomi. It was a good match. There were some good moves in here. You know, I've been fans of these two for, a while. I don't think they're great or anything, but Natalia is definitely talented in the ring, and Naomi's pretty athletic. So they put on a good match. I gave it 3.25 out of 5 stars. Natalia wins the title. I mean, good. I mean, she's been a pretty good wrestler. She's put on some good matches, and they haven't even given her the title in 6 years. It's time, so I'm glad she won there. It was a 10-minute and 55-second match, and I gave it 3.25 out of 5 stars. Then we have Big Cass defeating the Big Show. I mean, holy shit, was this a boring match. I mean, first off, why is it Big Show versus Big Cass? It should be Enzo versus Big Cass, since they were in the tag team together. You got Enzo, you got Big Show fighting Enzo's battles for him. You got somebody who's 20 years older than Enzo Amore fighting his battles for him. I mean, it just makes no fucking sense whatsoever. So you got Enzo in the shark cage. He escapes, which I thought was kind of a decent little thing there. But he comes down and he gets his ass kicked right away, which was kind of funny. But yeah, the match was boring. I mean, holy shit. It's like if you put two big guys in there, especially the Big Show, I know he's lost weight. He's only 5,000 pounds now as opposed to 6,000. I mean, I know he's lost weight, but he's still a fucking big guy who's very limited in the not only in the type of moves Big Show can do is Big Show limited, but he's limited in the fact that the moves that his opponent can do on him are very limited. I mean, there's not a lot of people who could pick up the Big Show. So the match was boring. I gave it 1 star out of 5. 10 minutes and 35 seconds long, and not a good match. Then we have Orton defeating Rusev in 10 seconds. I've never been a fan of these 10-second, Daniel Bryan loses in 18 seconds. It's just very lazy booking. There's not much thought into it. It's been done many times before. And I would rather, on a wrestling show, I would rather see them wrestle than a fucking 10-second match. So this one gets a 0 out of 5 stars. Just stupid. Then we have Sasha defeating Alexa Bliss. It was an alright match. Nothing too special. I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. You have a new champion, which I wasn't really a big fan of. Because like I was saying, with Neville winning the belt from Tozawa, I call him the Screamer, winning the belt from Neville. It's very anticlimactic because I prefer, especially if somebody's held the belt for that long, to have it be special. I mean, Sasha was just put in the match like a week or two ago. So there was really no build up to this match, no drama. Same thing with Neville and Tozawa. No drama, nothing. And so that's why I say it was very anticlimactic. There wasn't a build behind it. And that's not WWE's fault because Bayley got hurt. But I'm still saying, I just didn't think this should have been the moment for Bayley to lose her belt. Just like on a fucking Raw with a match made that day shouldn't have been the time for Neville to lose his belt. Especially since you've held it for so long. It should be a special moment. So it was an alright match. There were some good moves, but not enough for me to call it a great or good match. And like I said, just not a great time to take the belt off of Alexa. Then we have Balor defeating Bray Wyatt, and this had to be the top match that contained just a shit ton of basic moves. I mean, holy shit, it was just a boring match. I mean, when I watch a match, especially a pay-per-view match, I'm looking for, creative moves, meaning moves I haven't seen before, or just counters I haven't seen before, or some high spots, some exciting wrestling, not fucking rest holds, not fucking clotheslines, not fucking this and that. I mean, you have to do those things, obviously, but I'm looking for better spots than moves you learn in the first week of wrestling school. I mean, you watched this match and it was so fucking basic. So I gave the 0 out of 5 stars. I was very underimpressed with this match, and it wasn't good at all. And here's an example, too, of 50-50 booking, Wyatt wins last week, and then you got Balor winning this week. They do that so too often, and when you do that, the result is everybody's a mid-carder. There's no fucking new stars being built. You got to pick some guys, a list of 3, 4, 5 guys to run with, and then put them over consistently. They only seem to pick one guy, and that's Roman Reigns. Then we have Rollins and Ambrose defeating Cesaro and Sheamus. This match was 19 minutes and 20 seconds long. Way too long for my liking. If you're going to have a good match that's that long, fine, but like just a tag team match like this, and tag matches in the WWE suck. They are terrible. Why? Because there's just so much time of, Rollins is trying to get to Ambrose, but the other team's going to put 10,000 rest holds on him before he could get there. I mean, just tag team wrestling is filled with slow spots. That's why I don't like it. So this one dragged on. I was falling asleep at the end, and it was just very shitty. Picked up at the end a little bit there, but I was still underimpressed. This whole Rollins and Ambrose drama, I tweeted out that they're like two girls on their periods, can't make up their minds over what they want, very moody, and that's what I felt like. Like fucking 1 minute Rollins wants to rejoin in the Shield, and then the next minute he's like, oh no, I don't. I just so much drama. I mean, it reminds me of 6th grade girls. I mean, seriously. And why is this such a big deal of reforming the Shield? First off, it's not reforming the Shield because Roman Reigns isn't a part of it. And secondly, we've seen this before. I mean, how many times has Reigns and Ambrose teamed up or come out to save each other? This is nothing new. But the fist, right? Yeah. So then we have Styles defeating Owens with the guest referee being Shane McMahon. I thought this was a good match. See, when you have fucking SummerSlam pay-per-view matches, you have to have for many of the matches, have an extra element to spice things up. Looking at this card, there were no matches that were special stipulations, no DQ, no street rules or whatever, falls count anywhere, or Hell in a Cell, nothing. Except the last match, which was a fatal 4-way match. But other than that, you have a fucking 4-hour show and you only have one match at the end like that. Spice things up a little bit. At least in this one, they had a guest referee, which made it a bit more interesting. A lot of these matches are just basic matches you would see on Raw that garnered no excitement from myself at all. So this was a good match. I gave it 3.25 out of 5 stars. Like I said, there was excitement. Shane McMahon got knocked out. It made it interesting. So I gave it 3.25 out of 5, and yeah, it was a good match, good moves. Not great, but definitely a good match. I was happy with it. So yeah. Then we have Mahal, who they gave a crazy fucking name, the Maharaja or whatever the fuck that means. I don't even know what the fuck it means. So why? It's like we're in fucking America. I don't know what that means. So you know, they're still pushing Mahal for some fucking odd reason. You know, he was a jobber for like 1,000 years. He was a jobber forever, and then just then I go on Twitter one day and I see he's champion. Like what the fuck? He was a jobber a month ago, and then he's automatically champion. It's like if you're gonna make somebody champion, it has to be a long process. You can't just decide, oh, on Sunday, hey, I'm gonna make somebody champion on Raw on Monday. I'm gonna make a jobber champion. It just doesn't work like that. You gotta build them up. And that's why I say everybody's a mid-carder. Because you constantly take guys from the lower card and put them at the top that quickly, and then you take them back down, and now they're a jobber again. Dolph Ziggler, they did that with. I mean, they do it with so many people. And it just doesn't make any sense. So, I don't get why he's champion still. Apparently people are saying, oh, it's because of India. It's because of India. I mean, is there really that many people that watch this shit in India who really give a shit about this guy? I mean, are the ratings like skyrocketing because of him now? I don't think so. Because I haven't heard about it. This match sucked. It was boring. And everybody's so up in arms about Nakamura being this great-ass wrestler. I don't know about that because I haven't really watched him. I've watched him a few times, and every time I've watched him, he hasn't impressed me that much. I mean, so maybe it's because he's wrestling Jinder Mahal, but I don't know. But it didn't impress me, really. I mean, just because he has a cool theme song and a fucking guy playing the violin for him doesn't mean he's good. So this match I gave 0 out of 5 stars. It was only an 11-minute and 35-second match, which is pretty short for the match before the main event for the WWE Championship. Then we have your main event, which was a great match. Running up to this match, the show pretty much sucked. It was fucking terrible. There was like maybe 2 good matches and no great matches at all. This was a great match. This saved the show from being a total clusterfuck. You had table spots, like I'm talking about. Excitement, high spots. You had that. You had table spots. You had people going through barricades. You had excitement. You had Brock Lesnar being stretchered off and then coming back. You had some good shit in there. So Brock Lesnar wins. And I was overall happy with this match. It was a great match. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was 21 minutes long. And you can't really ask for more. They did a good job, pretty good job building up to this match here. They had Brock Lesnar there for 3 weeks before, at least. At least they did that. Normally Brock Lesnar's MIA for most of the time, but at least they had him there the last 3 weeks. Now, I said they could have done a better job with having him actually interact with people he was in the feud with, instead of just interacting with people like The Miz and Kurt Angle, which does no point because he's not in a feud with those people. But nonetheless, I thought they still did a pretty good job at building this up here. I mean, they did all right. They could have done better. Like on Raw, they had a very shitty brawl that contained very, it's like most of it was just the security guards and the wrestlers breaking them up, and they got very little fighting in. But yeah, this was a great match. 4 out of 5 stars. Happy with this. But overall, the show was pretty shitty, pretty bad. Not impressed at all. You had 1 great match at the end, maybe 2 good matches in between that, and everything else pretty much sucked. So there you go. There's your review.